out here because you guys denied me safe haven to swap out my engine and make repairs, and I got stuck here having to do everything here because there was no place to go.
It's here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean at the most remote island chain on the planet. My main engine seizes up while receiving urgent medical care. I got a running takeout low hours Cummins 6BT 180 horsepower engine from a Pearl Harbor U.S. Navy warship. It served as a standby fire pump. It's been in storage for years. You'll never believe how I got it on board. Aloha, mate. If you're not here, raise your hand. Now, since you are here, do subscribe, turn on the notifications, and give me a like. I need all the thumbs up possible. The evolving story became perhaps stranger than fiction and more marvelous than miracles. Everything's an absolute mess, but we got most of the old Ford Lehman out. Yeah, piece of crap. We got seized up. Pulled all the other stuff, cylinder head and blah blah blah. Borg Warner getting ready to come out. So yeah, I call this the belly of the whale. Big mess, cleaning stuff, tearing things apart. Here's the new Cummins 6BT getting ready to come in. Some of the old parts pulled out. Yeah, yuck mess. So yeah, I just pull up the floorboards and put a chain hoist up here. Hoist stuff up and out and through here. And once all this junk is out, then we got an engine hoist. I'm gonna put a hatch in, just lower the Cummins straight in. We got a brand new ZF, not ZF, yeah, ZF63. I call it transmission. So that will end up giving the vessel basically commercial duty engine, transmission, new batteries, battery bank, stuff going in. Pretty soon we'll be up and underway and doing some really cool things. So here we are. Looking like, hey, got the transmission out, exhaust manifold, cylinder head. Here comes the exhaust manifold. Yeah, so here we are, halfway putting in the Cummins. Absolutely wiped out. My raw honey, water, baking soda, lemon, salt, sea salt. That's my electrolyte drink. Pretty freaking hot. Train's cranking 15 knots. Probably 1,000-pound piece of steel going in here. Yeah, pretty crazy. Had to take the crate off. Underneath it. Yeah, go figure all that out. Angles, physics, leverage. Holy moly. So yeah, now it's in. Amazing. Perfect fit. Didn't have a 1/16 of an inch to spare. Use the waves, port to starboard, to kind of twist it and get it down in there. I simply needed 4 months dockside to do an engine swap. The state cartel and Department of Last Nazi Regime hold a monopoly, claiming all harbors and marinas. They refuse me all docks and moorings available in safe places. I left Sitka, Alaska, where I was working a seasonal captain's gig, returned to Kauai, Hawaii, where I boarded my vessel to sail on to Honolulu, Oahu, for urgent medical care. I dropped anchor on the west side of Oahu. I had plans to get that taken care of and sail on. Just needed some healing time and reprovisioning, but somehow it took way too long. We got a 1/4 mile kayak here. Just to get into shore. All loaded up. Dry bags, sea bags, food, supplies, motor mounts. Yo-ho! So here we are in the belly of the whale. Nice big beefy engine mounts, 1/2-inch steel plate. Have those custom made. Putting the Vulcan dampener plate on, SAE adapter plate, engine mount, getting the new shaft fitting there. Built up the stringers. You can see, I get the light to work here. Use some good wet system epoxy, the roving mat. Trying to build it up, get the right angle for the installation of the transmission. So now we've had to hoist the engine here and drill holes out. It's a constant, well, ongoing process of leveling, getting these mounts, everything to align to the engine.
Eventually, I'm reduced to $200 of cash, at anchor, no safe haven, no dock available, unable to walk or kayak more than 100 meters with no means of income. I'm unable to sell my boat, the only thing between me and the homeless.
Had to custom design this exhaust riser that would rise up higher. I'll come back this way. You see a little bit making way for the exhaust hose. We're almost there. Had to design this exhaust riser. Comes off of the turbo. From this curve of the elbow to the water line, there's supposed to be a minimum of 12 inches. I got it at 16 inches. Got a really good Belfast new exhaust hose. Went up to 4-inch. Old engine had, I don't know, 2.5, 3-inch. So we're just getting ready to, we got it all mocked up, getting ready to actually put the gaskets on, cinch down, clamps, etc. So this was one major project, designing this. Water comes in, you got to have it on a slope so no salt water comes back into the turbo, and then down 15 degrees or more. I'll try to show it here, down inside the flapper valve. Very important to have like a flapper valve. Keep water out, rough seas, not to flush back in. The exhaust, have to trim this up. Got the silicone tape to get it fit the right length. This exhaust stuff, it's got real tough wire. I had to use bolt cutters. My snips just wouldn't get through. Double wire, Belfast. This is like silicone. Some people call it like rescue tape, where you can build up the surface so it mates better. Great stuff to have on a boat.
Good morning, I'm from the U.S. Coast Guard. How are you?
Give me some space, please.
Well, this is a small boat. I need to make sure I don't fall overboard.
So I'm not allowed to make sure nothing's stolen or taken off or to see what is going on. I've discovered in cutting a heavy-duty hose that these razor blade knives just don't hold the heat. When I use a torch,
The U.S. Coast Guard conduct a military encirclement ambush, declaring a sweep.
big knife like this also used for coconuts, cracking them open instead of a machete. This is a little more stout with some good weight for bushwhacking. This will keep this blade really hot for about 20 minutes. And then to get an even cut, I put one of these clamps roundabout and just cut around it like that, and it's still hot. So you have the blade, just a few cuts. It's getting through real nice and easy, real nice clean cut on that. And I haven't found anything else, any kind of blade that gets through this heavy duty coolant hoses and take off this really cheap stuff. Put on some quality hose.
On the forecast track, the center of lane will move over. We're dangerously close to portions of the main Hawaiian Islands later today through Friday. Maximum sustained winds are near 130 miles per hour with higher gusts. Lane remains a powerful category 4 hurricane. Tropical storm conditions are expected to begin on Oahu late tonight, with hurricane conditions expected Friday into Friday night.
It's not over yet. Forgot about the backside of the hurricane kicking up. Southwest swell started this morning. Camera's about 10 feet, 3 meters above the water here. Gives you an idea. Big stuff. All the way over the break wall. It's 10 feet high. Look at that, jeez.
This is the last place I ever wanted to be in my life. Your offices denied me safe haven. Okay? That's why I'm here.
We would not deny safe haven.
You did. You've admitted here that I cannot come into a harbor. So, hello.
Well, you can't come into the harbor to get a mooring permit, it sounds like, because your boat's inoperable.
Exactly.
You need to get the boat operable.
What? How many? Hey there. So yeah, we're back down in the belly of Storm Alani Aloha. Getting ready to pull the tire head, manifold, and turbocharger off. Try to free up the cylinders. Let me show you how this is rigged up. Right. All right. So now we're topside. You can see I had to put a little hole, cockpit floor, up to the come along, up overhead, tied off to the boom right there. Voila. Yeah, halyard back here on the boom. So this is how we will lowering and raising the head, trying to free up this engine, get it running again real quick here, hopefully.
The confrontations, assaults, and threats hurry me to a fault. During a storm with a big swell, a gasket leaks. A water, white vinegar, coolant, rinsing solution into 3 cylinders, seizing this engine.
Fuck fun, huh? Here's where the leak came from. There was a gasket here on the exhaust manifold. You can see the remnants of when I was flushing with water with a light solution of white vinegar, trying to de-rust everything. A leak showed up and I replaced this gasket, but not before it had leaked from here down into this number 2, number 1, a little bit number 3. That's when then I pulled the fuel injectors and put a mix of mystery oil, diesel, acetone, ATF to soak. It helped to clean things, make cleaning a whole lot easier. I pulled the head. Here we are. We'll let this stuff sit for probably a couple days. The idea behind the acetone ATF is acetone gets in there and displaces the oxygen, moisture, and then helps to isolate the rust, eat it up, hopefully enough to be able to turn the engine over and continue cleaning the cylinders really good. And then we'll put new gaskets, rebuild the top end. It's mainly gaskets, cleaning everything up at the turbo way up there. So just when the boat was getting to be livable, became a freaking mess, putting things every which way.
I'm blamed by the state cartel for the 3-week presence of 2 tiger sharks living below my boat with trips to nearby reefs. As a pun, I made this video.
To the Shark Show. I get to live with these creatures daily as they first arrived about a week ago. 2 tiger sharks, and now...
Some people have asked, why did I get such a good quality engine, Cummins 6BT, to put in place of a Ford Lehman? Well, in Cummins, John Deere's, other, let's just say more commercial type engines, they have these replaceable sleeves so that you don't have to take the entire block out necessarily out of the boat. And it gives you a whole second life with the pistons, the sleeves in here. Some people have asked, when am I coming to the Big Island? When am I doing a tour on the West Coast? When am I going to show up at Kauai? Well, this is what's holding me up, working on the engine here. So it's been soaking in this blaster stuff, PV stuff, for 3 days. And I was hoping it would have made its way through better. It's about the same level. About 3 days ago, the acetone ATF mix, I think it's an old wives' tale. They're like Farmer Joe from Iowa or Nebraska or something. I mean, you just have like dry rust away from the ocean. Good for cleaning. So we got this stuff we're using. I'm going to use a torch today, heat things up. And we've got this V12 Chem Tool stuff was recommended, and I got some deep creep coming. Heat these cylinders up and try to get this stuff to soak down into it.
Engine is filled with a piston with oil, diesel, gun oil, and deep creep. The surf, swell, pitch, roll action helps by pressure washing everything inside.
And I should mention, never do this with the gasoline engine. Be very careful with the diesel. You don't want to use a fire extinguisher, otherwise you'll ruin your entire engine. So just make sure you don't have like acetone around, gasoline. They're really highly flammable stuff. So now we have the press going here. Basically got 2x4s using head bolts there. Add some scrap flat bar, pressing down, keeping about 50 foot-pounds at each bolt. And then check it and readjust it. So we've added to the battle plan here. So it's very important if you are burning oil, fuel, chemical, whatever sort, in a cylinder, that you have a quick way to put it out, which is just take a piece of wood, something flat that you can put right over the cylinder, like this, and then voila. Alright, so just heated the cylinder is really good. Poured that Chem Tool 12, and you can see it boiling. Put some of this in. V12 Chem Tool. After heating, it's boiling really good. Calming down a little bit right now.
So we got some really cool guys here. We got Maui right there, man. All right, sunset. Look at this load. All the stuff we got. Can you smile? You guys swim, right? That's Maui, look at that guy. And this girl is better than like 10 guys.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to take the starter off, the alternator, all that stuff. And I got all the materials, the staging stuff, to hoist this thing up. Squeeze in underneath, drop the oil pan, full of pistons. But, oh man, even got them honed today. Woohoo! And I just got to order all the gaskets, put all this stuff together again. Get this baby running, 200 horsepower. So, it's a good day for me. Really good day. You know, sometimes you go through a goddamn fucking living hell. Everything's a mess. Put everything on the line. 7 months ago, not a fucking cylinder would budge. And finally, I was just getting ready to lift this whole thing. Drop the oil pan and go underneath and replace this stuff. Let it sit for the last month. Last try. And it moved. And it turned over. And over and over and over again.
Alright, so hey! Hawaii is fucking exciting. Big swell this winter. Big wind. Fires burning up Oahu. Volcano blowing up the Big Island. And now we got a frickin' Category 2 hurricane coming down the pipeline, due in a week. Wow. Yeah. Aloha. Cheers. Ah, help.
hanging in here. One anchor line just completely apart. Down to 2 anchors. Wrong. Holy moly. The good news is it's actually dragged my anchors offshore in the deep water.
My primary anchor rode all chain drags but holds in the sand channel. It takes me a month of freediving to detect the 3-parted anchors, their location like octopus buried in the sand.
Took the turbocharger off. It's kind of rusty from the manifold, so I've been pouring in here solution 3-to-1 water, white vinegar, and then flushing it out this end here, and then baking soda water to neutralize, and getting this all cleaned up. We have the white vinegar bath going with the exhaust manifold. Then it will become a baking soda water to neutralize everything. Get all the gasket surfaces cleaned and smooth and nice. And then we have the upper end. Took all these things out, cleaning the top end. And then we'll be doing the bottom end. Now we got, blue tarp over the engine compartment. Keep all the dust stuff out. Yeah, so now we're going over the turbo. Cleaning all the surfaces.
A machinist's straight edge is used with a flashlight to expose uneven surfaces. Wet sandpaper is used to resurface.
Started cleaning top end of yeah, it's fun. Here we are, taking the cylinder head apart, cleaning top ends and intake and exhaust and blades, gaskets, all this kind of stuff. Running all the lights by solar power. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, fun. And then we use a hoist, goes all the way up there. Put this thing how we want it, need it. Our new OEM Cummins gasket stuff. It'll happen. A little motion here in the ocean. It's actually kind of a nice work platform here. Crazy. Crazy shit. But it's working. Right, so now we're cleaning out the ports. Nice. Now you can get up and under here. Get the light going. There we go. Okay, so here we are. Oh, you can see me. It's blowing about 20 gusts to 35 knots, almost gale force outside. Got a 10-foot swell. Working 3 anchor lines. In here, taking apart all the valves, cleaning, reseating all the valves. Whoa, ocean going here. Okay, so we're putting things back together here. Just kind of rebuilt the water pump yesterday, mounted that on. Took the whole thing off. It was kind of hard to turn, which would burn a lot of extra fuel, create torque. Kind of cleaned up the shaft, freed it up, put a new impeller in. The old impeller was kind of swollen. That would have created resistance, reduced performance. Had to work on the timing pin in here. It's kind of stuck, but wiggle it back and forth, sprayed it with some bust loose lubricant type stuff. I just worked it little by little, so now that works fine. So getting ready to put the fuel pump in. Once again, an invention of my own. I made a puller, piece of aluminum, and it will fit right in there. You can see, very tight fit. Taking all these bolts off in here. Yeah, fun. So, Here's the new rebuilt fuel pump. Picked up for $350. New they're like 3,500. It'll be 210 horsepower instead of 180. Now this is fucking amazing. Had this fuel pump timing gear off for about 6 months. You see that mark lined up on G. There's G, D, L, E, or C. Timing marks for different pumps, etc. for all sorts of Cummins engines. Just put this new fuel pump on. Rebuilt fuel pump here today. What do you know? I got it lined up perfectly. So yeah, towing 25 tons there. 50-foot of sail vessel. 7 feet down on the water, 2 meters.
An incoming storm will make it impossible to survive out here. It takes 2 days to retreat and set up an array of anchors. A dozen vessels across the islands are destroyed. Needed a jet ski to put more anchors up on the breakwall. Dude, welcome to the Ocean's work release program.
And I just had other fittings. And my third invention, my first 2 failed. I had 2 more in line. This one worked. I pulled all the fuel injectors, the old ones. I can only get spray through one of them. So these are new ones going in. Tips are bad inside. The needles were good, but 2 of them, the needles were stuck. These are going back for a core charge. For me to get some money back on the cores. You can tell that these that they sat a long time. These are new ones. It's like Christmas. Got new fuel injectors. Last phase of rebuilding this Cummins 6BT. These from Oregon. All Cummins RX OEM. Sticking with the same ones. They test them and they put this little blue stuff on it. You see that little red stuff? So that you don't turn this more or less, because it's very precision. 1, 2, another one with the washer. NIC's top end of them. So we're getting it done. Woohoo! Alright, so last one here. 44 foot-pounds.
100 plus bolts to torque, replace to spec in exact order.
And yeah, redoing the whole cockpit. What a mess, huh? Yeah, so here's the Cummins crate. Taken off inside the storage there. Some of the parts from the old Ford Lehman. Block over here. Waiting to get this engine all hooked up, powered up. Take this stuff and selling some of it. Wonder how much money was put down on whether I'd survive or not. We're kind of the public show out here at times. Rainbows I love. Don't know that song. Just kind of making it up.
I named the engine Chewy Chewbacca.
Exhaust is all cleared up. Burning pretty clean too. Right, so we're underway. So at 1,000 RPMs, we're cruising 5 knots. We go to 1,200. It's at 6 knots. Just taking it easy, watching everything right now. So here we are, trying to get the permanent instrument panel in. A lot of work, wiring, all the gauges, blah, 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 blah. Working at it, you'll see the difference. 3M silicon paste, put on all the electrical stuff everywhere. cuts down on corrosion. Especially on boats, it should go on every electrical connection, everywhere.
I set a monohull sailboat motoring speed record, eclipsing 11 knots at 2/3 throttle. Not bad. Fastest sailboat in the Pacific now.
So what am I thinking? I want to go offshore. Look at these beautiful dolphins! Way offshore, about 4 miles, going up in a fat fishing anchor, getting nice, like an artificial reef. This is the way we Join me and others as we continue our battle for the freedom of the high seas.